Ever notice how your grocery bill seems to climb a little higher each week? Or maybe you've been eyeing that new gadget, only to find the price tag a bit more shocking than you remember. While there are plenty of factors at play, a big piece of the puzzle involves something that might seem far removed from your day-to-day life: the trade relationship, or sometimes lack thereof, between the United States and China. Now, you might ask, what's that got to do with my morning coffee or the price of hockey equipment? Well, Canada, sitting right next door to the world's largest economy and deeply intertwined with global supply chains, is feeling the ripples of this economic tug-of-war in ways that directly impact our wallets and our jobs. Eh? For years, China has been a manufacturing powerhouse, churning out everything from smartphones to steel at a scale that's hard to fathom. The U.S., a consumer giant, has gobbled up these goods, creating a complex web of economic interdependence. But under the Trump administration, things got complicated. Tariffs, trade restrictions, and accusations of unfair practices flew back and forth like pucks in a heated playoff game. This wasn't just a spat between two superpowers, it was a disruption to the entire global trading system, and Canada, caught in the middle, couldn't help but get a little bruised. We're not just talking about abstract economic theories here. Think about the Canadian businesses that rely on exporting goods to the U.S., which then incorporate Chinese components. Or consider the farmers who sell their crops to be processed and shipped overseas. When trade barriers go up, these businesses and individuals feel the pinch. It's like trying to drive down a highway when someone keeps throwing up roadblocks. It slows everyone down. This isn't just about economics, mind you. It's also about geopolitics. Canada has to navigate this tricky landscape, balancing our close relationship with the U.S. with our own interests in trading with China. Think of it as walking a tightrope between two skyscrapers with a strong wind blowing. One wrong step, and things could get messy. So, how exactly is this trade war affecting us, and what can we do about it? We're going to dive into the nitty-gritty of this situation, exploring the roots of the conflict, the specific ways it's impacting Canadian industries, and the potential long-term consequences. We'll also look at the strategies Canada is using to navigate these turbulent waters, and what the future might hold for our trade relationships in a world that seems to be changing faster than ever. It's a complicated situation, no doubt, but understanding it is crucial for understanding the economic realities we face here at home. We're going to unpack it all, one layer at a time, to give you a clear picture of how this global drama is playing out on our own, very Canadian, stage. To get a handle on why this whole schmozzle started, we got to rewind a bit and look at the bigger picture. It's not just about one guy in a fancy office deciding to slap tariffs on everything. This has been brewing for years, like a good pot of coffee that's been left on the burner a little too long. China's rise as an economic superpower has been nothing short of meteoric. They went from being a largely agrarian society to a global manufacturing hub in a remarkably short time. This rapid growth, however, wasn't always seen as playing by the rules, according to some. Concerns about intellectual property theft, government subsidies for state-owned enterprises, and currency manipulation were all simmering beneath the surface. Think of it as a disagreement at the community hockey rink. One team thinks the other is cheating, and things quickly escalate. The U.S., for its part, felt like it was getting a raw deal. American companies complained about unfair competition, and politicians argued that China was taking advantage of the global trading system. The feeling was that the U.S. was losing jobs and industries to China, and something had to be done. So, when Trump came along promising to make America great again, taking a hard line on China resonated with a lot of folks down south. So, in 2018, the gloves came off. The U.S. started imposing tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, and China retaliated in kind. It was like a game of tit for tat, with each side trying to inflict economic pain on the other. This wasn't just about tariffs on specific products. It was about a fundamental disagreement over how international trade should be conducted. Now, you might be thinking, what does this have to do with Canada? We're just minding our own business up here. But the reality is that Canada is deeply integrated into the North American economy, and we can't simply ignore what's happening between our biggest trading partner and one of the world's largest economies. We're like the neighbor who lives between two houses that are constantly feuding. We can't help but hear the shouting and feel the tension. Consider, for instance, the auto industry. Many Canadian auto parts manufacturers rely on exporting components to the U.S., which are then used in vehicles that are eventually sold in China. When tariffs are imposed on those vehicles, it creates a ripple effect that impacts Canadian jobs and investment. Likewise, Canadian agricultural producers who sell soybeans or canola to China have seen their markets disrupted as China shifted its purchases to other countries. Consequently, navigating this geopolitical quagmire has become a major challenge for Canadian policymakers. They have to balance the need to maintain a strong relationship with the U.S. with the desire to continue trading with China. It's a delicate balancing act, like trying to carry 2 pails of water without spilling a drop. And, as we'll see, the choices Canada makes in the coming years will have a significant impact on our economic future. So, after all that, where does that leave us, you might be asking? It's like we've been paddling a canoe through some pretty choppy waters, and we're starting to see the shoreline, but the question remains, what kind of shore are we heading towards? We've seen how this trade squabble between the big guys, the U.S. and China, has sent ripples right up here to Canada. It's not just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about real jobs, real businesses, and the real cost of living for folks right across the country, from St. John's to Victoria, eh? Consider the way this situation has forced Canadian businesses to rethink their strategies. They can't just rely on the same old supply chains and export markets anymore. They gotta be nimble, adaptable, and ready to pivot at a moment's notice. It's like a hockey player having to change their game plan mid-shift because the other team has adjusted their defense. You gotta be ready to think on your feet. Now, think about the bigger picture for a sec. This trade war has exposed some vulnerabilities in the global trading system. Vulnerabilities that Canada can't afford to ignore. We can't just sit back and hope that things will eventually go back to normal, because the truth is, normal might never be the same again. We need to be proactive in shaping our own economic destiny. In light of all this, it's clear that Canada needs to diversify its trade relationships. We can't put all our eggs in one basket, relying solely on the U.S. market. We need to explore new opportunities in Asia, Europe, and other parts of the world. Think of it as building a diversified investment portfolio. You don't want to put all your money into one stock because if that stock tanks, you're in trouble. Moreover, it's crucial that Canada invests in innovation and technology. We need to create high-value jobs and industries that can compete on a global scale. This means supporting research and development, fostering entrepreneurship, and ensuring that our workforce has the skills it needs to succeed in the 21st century. It's like upgrading your equipment before a big game. You want to make sure you're ready to perform at your best. Putting it all together, we're looking at a situation that demands a smart, strategic, and forward-thinking approach. Canada needs to be a leader in promoting free and fair trade while also protecting its own interests. It's a tall order, no doubt, but it's one that we can't afford to shy away from. The decisions we make today will shape our economic future for years to come. So, as we get ready to wrap things up, let's think about what all this means for us as Canadians and what we can do to ensure a prosperous and secure future for our country. So, at the end of the day, what's the big takeaway? From all this chinwag about trade wars and global economics, it's this. Canada's place in the world is more interconnected and therefore more delicate than ever before, eh? We've seen how a squabble between two global giants can send tremors through our own economy, impacting everything from the price of groceries to the job prospects for our kids. It's a reminder that we can't afford to be complacent or take our economic security for granted. The story of Trump's trade war with China and how Canada's felt the pinch isn't just a tale of tariffs and trade deficits. It's a story about resilience, adaptation, and the importance of charting our own course in an increasingly complex world. It's about recognizing that we're not just bystanders in the global economy, we're active participants, and we have a responsibility to shape our own future. Think of it like this. Canada is a small boat navigating a vast and sometimes turbulent ocean. We can't control the weather, and we can't always predict the waves that are coming our way. But we can control the way we steer our boat, the sails we set, and the crew we assemble. And by being smart, adaptable, and resourceful, we can navigate even the most challenging waters. This requires a collective effort. It means that businesses, governments, and individuals all need to work together to build a stronger, more resilient, and more diversified economy. It means supporting Canadian innovation, investing in education, and skills training, and promoting free and fair trade practices. Ultimately, the lessons we've learned from this experience can make us stronger and more competitive in the long run. It's forced us to think outside the box, to explore new opportunities, and to appreciate the importance of our own economic independence. So, as you go about your day, remember that even seemingly distant events like a trade war between the U.S. and China can have a direct impact on your life. And remember that you, as a Canadian, have a role to play in shaping our economic future. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay optimistic about the possibilities that lie ahead. The true work begins as we continue to build a prosperous and secure Canada for generations to come, one loonie at a time.